To just hope for the best. Yeah, Poel, let's go to the last one because the last what yes I think it's but the very last it has 5 stanzas and the very last one is 2 extra verses, 2 extra lines. That's 6 lines. Yeah, so go back to
here, like it repeats the.
Can you go back to the part? And we're gonna sing Poel Yeshua. For us.
Then it
and then one more time. Okay,
that's gonna work.
So how can I signal to you, Matt? It's basically, you know.
Can I interrupt you for one quick second? I made a mistake and I started this already, and John wanted to let everyone know it's live.
Okay.
So
thank you.
Sorry.
Shabbat Shalom will be starting our service in about 15 minutes. Although not that many people are here yet, so maybe it'll be more like 20. So do you understand that? I don't know how your music is written. Is it like you have to? So the A part is that once, or
it's twice on each.
When
on that one, I'll just tap him. I'll tap you. So that. I got you. So I can hit the melodies.
Yes, that's
okay. Maya doesn't sing well either. It's okay. Maya doesn't. He's right. Oh, wait, no. I love him too.
He's just being mean to me.
I was thinking if someone was a second for me.
let me, yes. You want to bring your book into full?
Yeah, let me just hide my stuff.
Is that your stuff? Oh wait, no.
I got it.
You want to move it over to that side? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm just going to pull this back a little so there's space and it looks pretty.
Hey guys. Yeah, that sounded really great. And John, who's streaming from home, said it also sounded really good.
Yay!
I think I put
That's how you lose your stuff. I just take it away.
Popped up on your phone?
Yeah. It's not supposed to open.
Yeah, I think someone pointed that out.
There used to be somebody who was a teacher.
Let me get the line that I have.
One of the microphones that stands is a little broken.
It's not broken.
Or we had trouble.
Actually, I tried to put it on.
Yeah. So I think what he's just going to
Okay. I got so blessed with this employer teachers. I took classes with her for 8 years. Yeah, that's so good.
You guys need water? Maybe.
Yeah, I've seen other people do it. So I became licensed.
I'll take some grape juice. Grape juice.
When I was 8 years old, the teacher said, why don't you go sit at the desk? It's such a mean thing to do. What does it matter when you're 8 years old if you're singing?
Let me start with.
Go ahead, give us a reason. I said, when I was 8 years old, the teacher said, go sit over there. And I said, when you're 8 years old, what's the business of that? What's the business of doing before? But it ruined my
You want me to put these over here? Or you're coming back in the so you're starting at the next one. Yeah, that's better.
Because she has to usher. Yeah. I've heard it.
Oh, by the way, everyone, I suggest tonight at the beginning of the service, I know it's not me, but I suggest that at the beginning of the service we all do a moment of silence.
Yeah, this one I always kind of try to get in there.
Great if not.
Oh, sure. You're not in a bad, you're pretty good.
They're getting my ankle.
Really? I don't know, you live in town? Where do you live?
You want me to give more?
Hey, how are you, Deborah?
Good, how are you? Good to see you.
When's the bat mitzvah?
It is
I can play it.
November 5th.
Sorry to hear about Queen Elizabeth, by the way.
Your birthday is November 4th. So I don't need to know whatever.
Michael, I suggest you do a moment of silence for Queen Elizabeth. Half yesterday.
I'm always silent.
I think we sent you
Two
an
moments of
invitation.
In the letters.
Hey, Matt, Julia, none of your yesterday. So we should do a moment of silence for them. Yeah.
It's, I don't know. Friday night is the 4th, and then the Saturday night is
That's fine.
Wait, Maya. I'm sitting here on your birthday. I guess I don't.
For as long as I
Yeah, do it. An hour is your birthday. You don't get any birthday presents.
He's getting the text. He's getting the text. Did he say he got his Christmas?
You know what else? They'll just give you.
Is there anything you need someone to say tonight? I actually wrote a thing out today. So I'm so embarrassed.
Well, what do you have?
I mean, it's not.
What are the topics?
I didn't write a speech.
Are you going to be really second graders?
I'm in breath and grief because that's the Queen. That's what I'm doing. Okay.
Okay. Not only will we be musicians, we'll be magicians.
Yeah, and if you want me to talk about the recording, if you want to
I know.
got it?
I'm Honestly, I wasn't even going to say anything. This is like, don't forget to.
Who in their right
I call
mind
people up.
give you
When they call you up about
on your birthday and
I
then
will.
next day on your birthday?
You're hired.
Imagine if they were on the same day.
Same thing, whether you give on the first day or the second day.
But what I'm saying is they only get one set of presents, not one for their birthday and then one for their day mitzvah. Like they don't get birthday presents, but they get the day
Most
mitzvah
people
presents.
choose. It's not
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's being cheap. I'm making fun of them because they don't. I'm saying because most people probably wouldn't get 2 presents for that, and that makes sense. And so I'm making fun of Maya because they wouldn't get a present for their birthday and the present for the birthday and present.
No, if someone takes one out, it's
No, but that's what we need.
No, I already got what I'm getting you, so I don't bring it.
I'm glad you're coming.
Very good.
It's a bad back.
Maybe there were kids in there.
Still get presents. Which is why I'm making fun of No.
Let's go fast, all of us.
Before long.
Because I said in my letter, this first one, arriving.
Friday?
This is gonna be great.
But honestly, yes, because they're both.
This is from his bar.
From you, from your bar mitzvah. I've never seen it.
You definitely had to see me. No, you just probably.
I think you have seen me here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also in the retirement party.
Whatever reference, like, and then there's really nice that they're
Listen, I'm sitting
right.
Do you want to sit where you can sing?
Is there another?
I know. You guys have to sit. I'm going to be sitting here. If you want to be able to see me, like,
Yeah.
Wait,
He's gonna sit there.
what if you guys, what if you said, I don't know, you can sit right behind me, then maybe sit wherever you want, sit behind the seat, sit with me, or sit by yourself. Absolutely not, my love. Yeah, it's really special. Do you want to sit where you can see me? So what all you need to do is sit, and you don't have to really do anything else. So why don't you sit with me? You have to sit, but that's what we're doing today. No, I'm not going to comment on that.
need to do is find a seat. There's a lot of seats. If you sit there, I can see you really well. If you sit there, you can tap my shoulder. If you sit there, then you're with me. Those are your options. You gotta find a spot. Lovey, we're not eating until after. That's what we're doing. Maya, my love. Thank you. Sorry to hear that.
I know. I probably won't.
Maya, who's your teacher this year?
She has Mr. Bon Giovanni
Hart.
and Miss Hart.
And you're in what house? The prom.
Hi, how are you? So you know what I'm thinking? I don't know if you'd be interested in this.
Hey, Rachel.
So there's recording happening this with Shabbat. So it's like not people like recording and like on your phone. It's like they set it up and they're just like this bit. But do you guys think, me and Maya, do you think that Shomrei should to like help attract like younger members?
I'll do it.
They could need people. People could help them with it.
I'll do it.
Yeah, you would help.
No, I don't think.
I can help. I feel like the videos would be really good once they're there. Maybe we can cut them and make like a Zamru combo. Maybe do like this. Because no one ever did it. We have to do that.
I refilled the wine and now I know it's there and I won't spill because I know it's there.
I'm sorry. We're getting like in like a the sound of the things Rabbi Edgar, whatever. Like the sound of like one ceremony of Edgar, and like add.
I like it.
And I'm sorry for the world's loss yesterday.
Guys, I know, I made us
Hello.
Hey man. You've been playing here for how long?
We're finding one.
I don't know if we're yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm not kidding. Now I can.
I'm gonna give you if you have it for going. I don't know if I have time to go with you. I can see whether we have time to go with you. But I do not have time to go with you. So, upstairs. Oops, I'm so sorry. Lovey, you have it. Hey, Maya.
It's not like you.
But like I said, like I played guitar. There's a depth to the sound that you would be surprised because they're not like there's still a depth to the sound.
Like what we would do during the service, right?
This service should be about 45.
You guys got it?
Oh, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, here's what they're
I just had to say hello. Yeah. So good to see you. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Recently. Shalom Hasihot.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom and welcome to Zamru. In fact, tonight is the debut of Zamru Montclair, and we're really excited. We're really excited to welcome all of you as we welcome the ministering angels who bring with them the promise of a blessing. So as we enter into Kabbalat Shabbat, think about what blessing you need tonight in your life that you hope to evoke through the singing of this service. Zamru is all about singing with voices and singing with instruments, and you'll hear some melodies you know and love and some that are new. We're going to sing melodies from all over the Jewish world, and all I ask is that you try to sing or clap along, and if you feel like dancing, go right ahead. Our service continues on page 11 with L'chuna Ranana. L'chuna Ranana Shana Hakut Bedor Vaomar Am Toev Levavim Ve'em Lo Yadu Derachai Asher Nishmati B'Yopi Im Yevon El Menuchati as we all know, we're in the month of Elul, the month that leads up to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And we are going to enter a little bit into the mood of the high holiday season by singing together a special piyut called Adon Hasihot. This is found on your handout, and I want to invite a very special guest to help us learn this song. Talia Laskritz is going to be our Shlichat Tzibor on the high holidays, and she's come in special to daven with us so people could meet her, and also her partner Corin, and so that we could sing together. So look at the back of your handout. Some of you might recognize this from the days when Galit Dardashti was the Chazan here. This is one of the most famous Sephardi Yerushalmi piyutim, one of the most famous poems in the Sephardi Jerusalem tradition, with a lot of inspiration from Turkey and Syria.
Hi, Shabbat Shalom. My name is Talia again. So nice to meet you all. So everyone have your handout handy. So I want to teach the refrain to Adon Haslichot that we're going to kind of come back to throughout the song. And here's how it goes. Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. Chatanu lefanecha rachem aleinu. You guys are such fast learners. That sounded amazing. All right, so now I guess we can just jump right into this song itself.
Yeah, I just want to say one of the reasons I love this piyut, in addition to the melody, is that the chorus has such a joyful melody, which doesn't seem to go with the words. We're literally singing, "We have sinned before you," and I think the joy of that chorus comes with the sentiment that although we are not perfect, we believe that God will forgive us. And so the joy is in the promise of forgiveness. I got it.
Adon haselichot b'chei levavot golei amukot dovet tzedakot. Chatanu lefanecha
Our service continues on page 18 with a psalm that has the word Zamru Ladonai Bechinor. Zamru is actually named for this line in this psalm, which asks of us to sing to Adonai with the music of the lyre and with the voices making music together on page 18, 3 lines from the top of the page. Zamru Ladonai Lechinor Lechinor Bekol Simra Zamru Ladonai To our handouts again for the words from Psalm 27, the psalm that's traditional to recite during Elul. Only one thing I ask, to dwell with thee in your light, God, all the days of my life. It's page 2 of the handout. Achat sha'ati me'etz Adonai ota avakesh shivti me'etz Adonai kol yemei chai please rise on page 21, Mizmor David. Join me in welcoming the Sabbath bride with L'Chadodi. We're on page 23.
Shabbat,
Good Shabbos, good Shabbos, good Shabbos. According to our service, Shabbos is officially here. We're on page 21. Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat. Let's make that 27.
Mizmor Shir, Shir Yom HaShabbat. 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 Mizmor Shir, Shir Mizmor Shir, Shir Yom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir, Shir Yom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir, Shir Yom HaShabbat.
We're going to continue in a moment with the Mourner's Kaddish. I want to acknowledge Marty and Eden and other mourners who are among us, and anyone else who's observing Yahrzeit. Please rise on page 30. Yitkadav, Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. Amen. V'alma Dibra Kirtei V'amlich Nachutei. V'chayechon V'yomechon V'chayei D'chol Beit Yisrael. V'agala V'zman Kari V'imru Amen. Yehi Shemei Rabbah Mevorach L'olam Kulei Almaya. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudasha, V'yichu, Le'ela, Minkol, V'erchata, V'shirata, Tishbachata, V'nechamata, Zamiran, V'yalma, V'imru Amen. Yehi Shlam Rabbah Min Shemaya, V'chayim, Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom, V'imromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael, V'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel. V'imru Amen. All right. It's okay. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Tonight is a very special night, not only because we're singing together as a community at our first Zamru Montclair service, but also because tonight is a night when I want to celebrate the gift of life. Some of you might know that this is the first time that we're gathering as a community since something very momentous happened. There's a member of our community named Haley Brooks, who's now a senior at Montclair High School. And last night, at a Gift of Life fundraiser, she met the donor who saved her life. Her donor's name is Ethan, and he's 6'2". The people who are laughing might know that Haley's only 4'11". So you have to picture them standing up there next to each other. They had spoken, but they had never met. And the person introducing them was explaining that Ethan entered the International Registry for bone marrow and stem cell donations when he was on a birthright trip in Israel. They asked him, would you be willing to get into the register? And he said, sure, I'll swab my cheek, why not? And then a few years later, he got a call that he was a potential match for Haley, and he underwent further testing and found out that he was a match on all 10 of the 10 factors that they looked for. And so his parents, while they might have hoped that he would make this donation, of course they didn't want to pressure him. It was his decision, and in the end, Ethan decided to make the donation because Haley reminded him of his youngest sister. And he thought to himself that if my sister needed this donation, I would want somebody to make this donation for her. And so last night, on stage in front of hundreds of people who support the important work of the gift of life, Ethan and Haley embraced for the first time, and she joked in front of the crowd that he was a perfect match for her, meeting 10 out of 10 of her criteria. The Gift of Life organization was founded by somebody who himself was in need of a transplant, and after running many drives realized that if he could only get more people into the registry, he could help save more lives. And actually 91,100 people have been swabbed on birthright trips since 2001, and this has yielded over 3,000 potential matches and saved 372 lives. You may or may not know this, but only 25% of matches come from within a person's family. I happen to work with someone whose father needed a bone marrow transplant, and her daughter was able to save her grandfather's life by donating her bone marrow. But 75% of the matches require a match from somebody who's not in the immediate family. And for people who are in a similar ethnic group, like Ashkenazi Jews or maybe also Sephardi Jews, I'm not as sure, if you're more likely to match with somebody. And that's why they are swabbing so many people on Birthright Israel. This week's Torah portion, Ki Tetzei, talks about the difference between a young girl who cries out for help in a city and a young girl who cries out for help in the countryside. The assumption of the Torah is that in a city, if a young girl cries out, there will be a lot of people around and somebody will hear her and help her. But in the countryside, no one will be around and no one will help her. Our later sages said that whether or not you live in a place where people will help you when you need help is not really dependent on whether it's a city or it's a rural place. It's dependent on not how many people live there or how close they live together. It's dependent on the culture of the place and whether or not the place has a culture where people give. And you, probably many of you know better than me, that here at Shomrei, there's a very special group called the Mensch Squad. And the Mensch Squad, for 18 months, delivered home-cooked meals to Haley and her family. And members of the congregation delivered gifts of all kinds, puzzles and games, and different kinds of things to keep Haley occupied while she was in the hospital or at home. And there was even somebody, anonymous, who would drop off a surprise gift in the mailbox every week. And Dale, who helped organize those volunteers, told me that even though it was for 18 months that she was seeking volunteers, not once did they lack for volunteers to help Haley. And so I believe, beyond the jokes of whether Montclair is a suburb or it's really more like a city, it's a city in the sense of being a place where a person can cry out for help and people all around her will respond. I'm going to ask you tonight, all of you, to consider helping to get more people into the Gift of Life registry. You have to be between 18 and 35 years old to become to enter the registry, and I know from looking around that might not be everyone in the crowd. Some of the people are too young, some too old. But you know people who are 18 to 35. They might be friends or neighbors or family members. And if you take one of these brochures that's on the table over there and you help them sign up on the website for free because of the generosity of the Gift of Life program, they'll be sent a kit. All they have to do is swab their cheek and they can help save someone's life. And so I hope we will continue to respond to that call as a community. So in addition to being Zamru, and in addition to being the first time that we're gathering together since Haley was able to meet her donor who saved her life, Ethan, last night, it's also my first official welcome to the community.
Mazel tov.
Thank you, Noah. And for me, learning about Haley's story and being able to tell her story and the story of this community reminds me of one of the key reasons why I wanted to come here. I wanted to be a part of a community like this one. And so I'm so grateful to all of you for welcoming me, and my family, really now for a few months, but also tonight with song and prayer. And since this is the first Zamru, and since this is a moment when we are all so grateful to the Holy One that Haley has been sustained in life and enabled to reach this happy day, let us join together in singing the Shechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Shabbat Shalom. Our service continues with the Mariv service and the Baruch, the call to prayer. We're on page 39A, and we're going to face east towards the tent and towards Jerusalem. Please be seated. Adonai Tzavot Shemo El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Atah Adonai Amari Baravi. We turn now to our handouts again, Ahava V'Rachamim, love and compassion, kindness and peace, as we prepare for the Shema. Tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 41. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha v'chol nafshecha v'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'advarim ha'eleh asher Elohim tzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam l'manecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha v'lechtecha b'derech v'sholtecha v'kumecha כשאתה מאוד על ידיך והיו תותפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות Adonai Elohechem Emet. We're going to continue in a moment with the Hamacha Prayer. This melody is actually from Nefesh Mountain, who are based here in Montclair, and we're on page 44. At evening services, we had one more blessing, a blessing for peace. We're going to turn back to our handouts for Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, page 2 at the bottom.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu. Shalom Aleinu, Haribo Shalom Aleinu, Haribo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Haribo Shalom Aleinu, Haribo Shalom Aleinu, Haribo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam. Haribo Shalom Aleinu, Haribo Shalom Aleinu, Haribo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam.
We're going to continue with Vishamru. On page 46, please rise.
Israel, and
continue with the silent Amidah, and in the spirit of a very special tradition here at Shomrei, everyone should take the time they need to say the prayers that are in the prayer book or in their heart, and we'll wait until everyone is finished before continuing with our service. Yitkada v'yitkada Shomrei Rabbi Madra Kirutei v'nich malchotei Lecha yecholu yomekom v'fayed v'chol beit Yisrael Ba'agala Ba'agala v'bizman kavim Emerel Amin Yeshnei Rabba Mevorach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yishma v'ynaseh v'yitata v'yitale v'yitalav Shemei Kedusha B'rechu Leila min kol berchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'lemata Da'amiram be'alma v'neru Amen. turn to page 54, and we rise as we're able for Kaddish Shalem. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yidroman v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitala shemei kudesha v'yitru le'ela min kol berachata v'shirata tishbachata v'nechamata damiran v'yama v'yimeru Amen Yitkavel tzolotanu v'adhon dekol Yisrael kadam avuhim v'shmai v'yimeru Amen Yehi shlam rabba midshemai v'chayim aleinu v'el kol Yisrael v'yimeru Amen Oseh shalom v'yimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'el kol Yisrael v'el kol Yoshvei Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'atei tefillah li'oser reshit shelo asanu k'goyer haratzon velo asamanu mishpachot adama shelo sam chalkeinu ganem le'or aleinu k'chol amonam אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ומשם יקרה בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגרדי מרומים הוא אלוהינו כך כתוב בתורתו ידעת יום להשיבות אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אהוד ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר וחיה אדוני ומלך על כל הארץ היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו In a moment, we're going to continue with the Mourner's Kaddish. You may be seated if you want. I want to call to mind and to our hearts all the loved ones who are connected to people in our community who died at this time in years past. Mayor Antler, Leonard Books, Teresa Bronxberg, Dr. Maxwell Dorr, Frank Edelman, Sylvia Fine, Eugene Gay, Harry Gottlieb, Fanny Kaplan, Louis Kosdor, Marvin Lillian, Betty Mazel, Helen Most, Irving Rothman, Pauline Sachs, Sylvia Selesnik, Saul Stein, Ruth Stern, Jean Walensky, James Wallace Wormley, David Youngman, Laura Zuckman. I also want to acknowledge that the world lost a very long-term and special leader, Queen Elizabeth II, this week. I'm going to ask mourners and anyone observing a yard site to please rise as you're able, and we'll continue with the Mourner's Kaddish on page 58. V'yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba b'alma divra kirtei v'yamlich machutei b'chayechon u'b'yomechon u'b'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael b'agala u'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam olamei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlam rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Please be seated. I'd now like to welcome up our President, Michael Sag, to make a few announcements.
borrow a microphone?
This might help a lot of people. Hi. Hi. Shabbat Shalom. Sorry, my butt's facing you guys. It's the penalty of the circle. I'm a little bit overwhelmed at the crowd that have showed up tonight. You sort of saw me maybe in the background. You can't hear me. Thank you, Lindsay Sag. You maybe saw me running around pulling chairs and books out because even when we imagined what this night would be, it wasn't as crowded and exciting as it is right now. And I'm really, as I said in the letter that I sent out that I hope some of you saw, this is my first experience with this, and I'm very moved. And it is everything that everybody had told me it was when Rabbi Julie came to visit has been delivered. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm very excited to see you guys here. Thank you for being here. I do have a couple of things, a couple of announcements that I wanted to make. This is, as you guys know, it's a pretty exciting and a pretty busy period of the year for us. There's a lot going on. I'm going to try and get through just a couple of things. Instead of forecasting events from a month, I'm going to try and keep it like to the next 4 days because there's that much activity happening, and I hope that even if every one of them isn't for you, you'll find something over time that is appealing and you'll come and join us. Shabbat tomorrow morning, followed by a great Kiddush meal. Thank you for the sponsors of the Kiddush meal, and I hope you'll all come out. It's going to be an exciting morning. At Nourish on the 13th with Judith Antelman. Judith! Judith is here. I'm very excited. I'm delighted that she's here joining us. High Holy Day worship service with Rabbi Julie on the 15th. If you want to dive in a little bit, learn a little bit about what the High Holy Days are about, this is an opportunity to engage. I encourage it. Selachot on the 17th. Rabbi Julie, do you want to talk about Selachot a little bit?
Sure. I highly recommend that you join us for Slichot this year. We are planning a very special evening. You know, one of the most beautiful sounds I've heard tonight, in addition to the singing, is the sound of the kids on the playground. So Slichot's going to start at 6 o'clock, instead of with playground time, actually, with a magician for the kids. And then at 6:30, there's going to be a dinner for the adults and the older kids, like teens, and a dinner for younger kids with some kids activities. We're going to then all join together for Havdalah out here in the parking lot, in our beautiful parking lot. And then we'll just go right into the tent over there where we'll have services. We have 3 guest musicians coming to lead services together with Lucey, our student rabbi, and Talia Lakritz, who you should definitely say hello to tonight. And after we open our hearts to these special melodies and prayers for Slichot and try to get into the mindset of the high holidays, we're going to flip things into a little bit of a jazz cafe with dessert and jazz for another 45 minutes. So please come to Slichot the 17th. There's no other place to be but here.
Thank you, thank you. I wanted to remind everyone, in case you don't know, High Holy Day services at Shomrei are open to everybody. You should come. You should invite your friends to come. You should let them know that the door is wide open if they're looking for a religious experience on the High Holy Days and they don't know where to go or they don't have a place to go. This can be the place for them. They can come for all, they can come for part. We'd really love to reflect the open door of this shul to everybody in our community. So take the opportunity, spread the word. RSVP online for visitors. Thank you, John Lassiter.
Also RSVP for Slichot so we have enough food.
Thank you. A couple of reminders. The Book of Remembrance, for those who want to participate, the deadline is the 18th. That gives you about another week and a half, I think, to participate. And if you're interested in honey or lulav and etrog, you can order them on the website. And as a personal plug, my daughter, Jordan Sag, is going to be doing a Mitzvah Project bake sale in Edgemont Park on Sunday at 2 o'clock. If you want more information, it was all in this week's Shomrei Week. Shomrei Week is the place to get every bit of information. All the things that I said are included. All the things I didn't say are also included. I encourage you to take a peek. It's a quick spin through and a really great center of information. Thank you again so much for being here tonight.
I want to add a few words of thank you very quickly, and then we're going to conclude our service by singing Shalom Aleichem as if we were already at the dinner table and do kiddush and make motzi, and then people who are staying for this lovely potluck dinner are welcome to head over and eat. I just want to thank you, Michael, for being such a great support and thought partner in my first few weeks as rabbi here. I really appreciate it. And also I want to give a shout out to Jeff Sadow. I'm not sure where he is, but he's the head of the ritual committee. And whether it's encouraging us to have Zamru here or helping coordinate our more traditional Friday night and Shabbat morning services, or pinch hitting when we don't have a Torah reader, there's so much work that Jeff's been doing behind the scenes, and I really appreciate all of it, Jeff. I want to thank our I want to thank Matt Davis, our guitar musician, from coming with us all the way from Princeton. And you all, of course, all know Lucey, our student rabbi, and Deborah Kaplan, our extraordinary community member, harmony maker. I also want to introduce today Adam Fox, who's a friend of mine originally from his student days at Princeton, who lives not far away and joined us for Zamru tonight. And again, welcome to Talia and to Koren. We're going to continue with Shalom Aleichem on page 73, followed by Kiddush. You might get a little grape juice if a miracle happens. It's coming around. And let's continue. Please rise. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharim, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 Seichem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
So there were quite a few grape juices coming around. Hopefully there's almost enough to go around. Do this, yes, right over here. We're pretending we're at our dinner table, and all right, momentarily. Just we have to do that. It's over there.
Go ahead, Kiddush.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'rosav v'shabbat kodsho v'yahalav ratzon v'chilanu zikaron ma'aseh
chair.
Yeah, that.
Oh, yeah.
Should anybody have a glass that they need to dispose of?
Watch out for all the particles.
Do you have a glass that you need to dispose of? Do you have a glass that you need to dispose of?
Just be super careful, you guys, walking on this side with all the everything that could be tripped on.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we tried to get to the, Bruce wanted to say goodbye to you, and we tried to get the porch. And then I wanted to but I never kept with the rain. I'm sorry that I didn't make it as nice for the porch. But I couldn't make it and that. For me, I have people helping me. We actually put it in the right. I never thought to open my
Last chance! Any leftover cup? Go with one. One choice. Go down the window.
I had all these friends helping me up and down those stairs. So you can take your girlfriend back to the airport? Oh my God. How old are you? So close to me. You're both tall. I guess Abby's tall too.
This was fun. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, I used to be 5'7" and a half, and they claim that I've shrunk to 5'6", but I don't know. And I said, somehow everybody, I'm still the tallest one.
But she's not as tall as me, obviously, but she's very tall.
Yeah.
So much.
So,
Dave was pretty tall.
A camera!
he was.